Welcome to Obstacle Running Adventures,
the podcast that fuels your passion for obstacle course racing, running, and adventure.
Since 2017, we have released weekly episodes for the seasoned pros,
weekend warriors, and everything in between.
We discuss the industry news, travel for live coverage,
and interview athletes and key voices in the athletic community.
We cover it all, from fundraising events, personal trials,
to world records, FKTs, and world championships.
Standing on the corner.
Now let's get started with your hosts.
Lost all my clothes.
Michael Stefano and Caitlin Ritter.
Hey guys, it's Michael Stefano.
And Caitlin Ritter.
And Caitlin, how was your weekend?
It was good. We both took Lucy on trail runs separately.
We did, and we were told not to do runs before the dog turns 1, but one, we're slow, so she's kind of walking.
It kind of hurt my feelings when I was like giving it all my go, and she's just like, la da da.
I feel the same thing on the hills. She's just as fast on the hills, and I'm walking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did just 2 miles, and then you did a straight up 5K with her.
Yeah, we ran 3.14 miles together.
Sweet. Yeah, she's crushing it. But we're not looking to push her because she's gonna work her way up to it, but she was not tired.
No, she wasn't tired for me either. Although when we did get in the car, she laid down in front of my heater vent.
Yeah, well, she does that kind of anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors.
Our discount code for Mudgear is Adventure, and it gets you 15% off. And not to spoil anything, but I've seen what Mudgear has coming next. They're debuting a new item. Huh. And if you've ever struggled with their sock fit, you're going to want to keep an eye on what they are debuting.
How do you know something that I don't about Mudgear?
I get the Mudgear ambassador emails. Go to the podcast.
Okay, that makes sense.
Go to the podcast email, and I'm the one that checks that.
That's fair.
So I like it.
Yeah.
Use code OCR Report 20 for 20% off your next Caterpie purchase. I guess I'm going to need to buy new Caterpie laces.
I was thinking that when you were trying on the new shoes, when you bought new shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And use code OCR Report 20 for 20% off your next Spartan, Deca, or Tough Mudder.
Yeah, let's give a shout out to our Patreon supporters, the $5+ patron supporters.
Jason Dupree, Samantha Thompson, Bradley Keel, Charlotte Engelman, Aaron Grindstaff, Laura and Stephen Ritter, Hank Arlene Stefano, Cheryl Miller, Jessica Johnson, Christopher Hoover, Kevin Gregory Jr., Evan Irick, Brent George, Logan Nagel, Seth Runderknecht, Steve Bacon, Robert Landman, and Jules Estes.
Yes, thank you so much for the support, guys. We really appreciate it. And we plan to do the January Patreon video after this, even though it's going to be late. Well, not late in January, just late time-wise.
But we don't have work tomorrow.
Yeah, I plan to take tomorrow off. We'll
Yay!
see. Yeah.
Finally.
I know it. And to our sponsored athletes, Javier Escobar, Kelly Sullivan.
Mark Duplessis channeled his inner Javier Escobar today when he PR'd his half marathon time. And Mark said, I channeled my inner Javier Escobar and turbo farted that finish.
Yeah, you got a really good PR there. Congratulations to him.
That's an oldie but goodie Javier line.
That's when we first met him.
You remember, I was like, Mike, I had the weirdest interview. This man came up to me and introduced himself as Turbo Fart.
Yeah, and I later edited it. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
It turned out to be Javier, and you love him.
Who we miss. We haven't seen him in a while.
Yes.
Kelly Sullivan, Ryan Brzollara, Joshua Reed, and Kevin Gregory. Poll results. I forgot, you did a poll, didn't you?
I did do a poll.
All right.
This is something that we don't agree on.
Okay. You said there were a lot of votes, so I'm interested to see what it's all about. Oh, yeah.
I said, do you drink tap, parentheses, sink water? And 68% of people voted yes. 30% of people said nope, filtered only. And 2% of people said only from a water bottle.
That was a lot of votes.
I know.
A lot of votes.
So I'm a tap water girly.
Okay. I also feel like it depends on where you live, too. I wonder where a lot of these people are. I mean, I could look and find out.
Well, a lot of people who voted filter. It was interesting. People that I know from New Jersey voted that they drink tap water.
Okay.
We got some big people in here voting yes for drinking
Holy
tap
crap.
water.
Yeah, we do. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool to see you guys voting.
So, thought that was interesting because you only drink filtered water.
Correct. We're also starting to have some more water issues in Massachusetts that turns out no one's talking about, but I guess that's a thing. So, fun stuff.
That's scary.
Mm-hmm. And maybe the week we're going to skip, go right over to quick. Oh, do you have a badass of the week? It's okay if you don't.
No, I don't. I forgot we were going to start doing
Me
that.
too. I didn't even add it into the show notes. I just thought of it. To quick news, starting with Molly Seidel made her ultra marathon debut.
Molly Seidel hit the trails and she made her ultra running debut. And her run was 4 hours, 9 seconds for a course record.
Probably 9 minutes.
Oh, sorry. 4 hours, 9 minutes. That makes sense. For the course record at Bandera 50K.
Bandera 50K, yep. So yeah, she's a very big marathoner for those unfamiliar with her. And yeah, she crushed it and she's going to continue to crush it. Signe and Leon are going to be doing a full week OCR hybrid camp at Mike's Gym in Marbella. It's one of the world's best obstacle and hybrid training facilities. It looks amazing. I hope to make it out there someday.
Where is that?
I believe it's in Spain.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's March 22nd to the 28th.
Awesome. Up next, they vote on the dissolving of FISO.
Yes, yeah. So this comes to us from OCR Buddy, who posted that all national federations of UIPM and FISO received a written update on the integration process today. And basically March 15th, the obstacle NFs will gather in Nice, France for the 12th FISO and World Obstacle General Assembly, where they will vote on the dissolution, that's not enough to say, of FISO. The General Assembly will be preceded by a meeting of the OTF, also in Nice. I think that's Nice, isn't it? Nice, France?
I have no idea.
Yeah, on March 14th. So for more information for any of these news stories, go click the links below.
Coming up next, we're going to talk about the Boston Burrito League.
Yes, yeah. So this was put together by, I thought it was Mike Wardian. I'm seeing Eliza Weaves. So basically, there is a segment called the Boston Burrito segment. And if you do it anytime between January 13th and January 31st, you can be entered to win some crazy stuff. It's only a 0.23 mile segment, but the top 5 men and women and non-binary athletes earn prizes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I saw him like mapping it out and I'm like, oh, I thought he was doing like a 50K. I'm much less interested in like the super short segment, but
if you're interested, it's 47 David G. Muger Way, Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And the segment is a Boston Burrito segment. I wonder why it's called that.
Because he's the one that hosted the Boston Burrito like 5K. It's from like a Chipotle, I believe.
Okay, that makes sense. Coming up next, Tough Mudder Middle East is rescheduled. Tough Mudder Middle East posted on Instagram, heads up Mudders, due to unforeseen operational delays, Tough Mudder has been rescheduled to October.
Yeah, so they're taking the time needed to deliver the best possible experience for their community. All ticket holders will have been sent an email with instructions on transfers and refunds. We'll be back later this year, ready to bring the mud, teamwork, and challenge that you know and love. I don't know as much about this, but I saw this was posted and figured that this was worth sharing.
Up next, congratulations to DJ Fox. He is engaged. His fiance posted, on a quiet Thursday morning stroll in the softest sands and dipping our toes in the bluest waters of Hawaii Beach, DJ Fox got down on one knee and asked if I would be his partner in life.
Yeah, congratulations to him and her.
And she posted, in this life and every that follows.
Very nice.
Heading over to another congratulations, the running public is celebrating their 6-year anniversary.
Yeah, Kirk DeWin posted the early years. 6 years ago to the day, we launched our first Running Public episode back in 2020. Nearly 600 episodes in, and I still look forward to recording every episode, every single one of them. Thank you to those who listen, comment, support. You give purpose to my passion, and for that I am so damn grateful. Love that.
I like the hashtag happy anniversary, Bracken.
Yeah, I love it.
That's
love the bromance and everything. And now that I'm getting back to running and everything, I'm getting back to where I left off on that show too.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure they don't let me.
Heading over to Viking Obstacles.
Yeah, so Asa Coddington posted fall 2026, who would like to run back on the course at Viking Obstacle Race at Sunny Hill and join in some wedding festivities with Kate and I. Looking forward to getting a head count of those who might be interested while we craft something fun to celebrate. So yeah, he was the head of Viking Obstacle Race in New York, and it looks like he might be putting together a little something to like celebrate them.
Like an OCR wedding?
Yeah.
I think if we were to get married again, I would organize like a morning 5K, like a pre-wedding 5K.
I don't know if anyone would join us, but
then you and I could run a 5K together.
Yeah.
I think my brother and Emily would join us. They run.
Yeah. I guess we could have done something, but we were also busy that morning.
That's true. I also had my hair started like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, when
Never
it worked
mind.
out.
Heading over, what? A Falmouth road race death?
Yeah, well, I didn't know what else to name it. You didn't have to read it that way, but yeah. So Falmouth Road Race posted that they're deeply saddened by the passing of one of their longest tenured and most dedicated volunteers, Edwin, in quotes, Eddie Burke. Eddie was a cornerstone of the road race community, generously sharing his time, expertise, and steady presence in support of the race security for many years. On race day, he could be found managing Startland security before heading to the finish line and continuing his work, and later becoming a familiar and trusted leader at bus loading, ensuring a smooth and safe pre-race experience for thousands of runners. In recognition of his exceptional commitment and service, Eddie was honored as the Falmouth Road Race Volunteer of the Year. His impact on the race and to all those who had the privilege of working with him will be felt for years to come. He will be dearly missed. So yeah, your path probably crossed with him, whether you know it or not.
Right.
Doing that race way back.
I would love to run that race again. Now that I like actually run and work out.
Yeah.
I would love to run that.
But you got accepted one time and just didn't show up, so that...
No, I said no. I like RSVP'd no.
Oh, gotcha. That happens.
But I think I got lucky because I was an out-of-stater.
Mm-hmm. Secret link is 5 down below, but let's get to what this episode is all about. So we had Nick Gagnon on the show for hiking the Appalachian Trail back in 2023, and he seemed interested in taking on another hiking challenge in the future. So now that he finished the Pacific Crest Trail, we figured it was time to have him back on the show. We talk about the preparation for this multi-month hike, dangers of animals and weather, towns and areas that stood out along the route, how it compares to the Appalachian Trail, advice for those interested in taking on this crazy challenge, and much more. So let's get to the interview with Nick. All right, man. So we'll start off with your name and where you're from.
So I'm Nick Gagnon. I live in Chateauguay, Quebec.
Awesome. Can I tell you
in Canada
how much I struggle to say your last name, and I feel bad every time, and I just have to remember it's like French Canadian.
Yeah, you can say Gagnon too. That's the American way of saying it.
Okay, that's not too bad then. So the last time we had you on the show was December 2023, which hurts my soul to think about. After you successfully hiked the Appalachian Trail, and then you teased wanting to do another extremely long hike, and one of those that you mentioned was the Pacific Crest Trail. So before we get to that, let's kind of resume on where we left off. How was your continued recovery and like weight fluctuation stability after the Appalachian Trail?
Oh man, I got fat after the Appalachian Trail. Actually, it took me until January to actually heal properly because the Appalachian Trail is very rugged terrain. So you're going steep ups, steep downs. It's worse than doing like a Spartan race. So you're always rock hopping or route hopping. All depends on the weather. For me, it rained a lot in 23. I think I did 100. It took me 170 days to do the Appalachian Trail, and I think at least 80 days was constant thunderstorms. So your feet are always jumping on roots, and your feet are all swollen because you're hiking a lot. You're stepping on things all the time. You're smacking into things. So I think it took me till January before I was able to actually walk properly without like hobbling.
That's wild. And then you also talked about how like you built up your like mountain legs as you traveled from south to north.
Yes. So that's what we call trail legs.
Right.
Because you have weak little legs as you start hiking, and then you just gain the muscle and the strength in your legs from the constant walking, the constant climbing, the weight of the backpack on your shoulders, and before long you're just crushing miles or kilometers. But since the Appalachian Trail, I got lazy, got fat. We have a thing called trail depression. You're constantly on the trail doing things, and now you're back in civilization, getting hit by cars half the time, and it's like, oh, I'm kind of sad. So last summer, during around the time of Killington, I hiked the Vermont Long Trail just to get back into hiking.
Nice.
And that was another kind of a rough trail.
Did you end up doing any hiking in Canada too? Because I remember there was like an issue of like you almost spent too much time out of your country last year.
Oh, there's trails. There's trails in Canada. Like there's a lot of day hiking trails, but we have a couple day trip trails. Like we have the West Coast Trail, which is out in BC. We have the East Coast Trail, which is out in Newfoundland. We have the Great Divide Trail, which goes between Alberta and BC, but they're kind of more remote-ish, I guess. It's not as popular as you're doing the Appalachian or the Pacific Crest Trail.
Okay, no, that makes sense. And then I guess what else were you doing in between these like through hikes?
Nothing much. Just taking care of my parents. That's about it.
Okay, there you go.
And getting more fat.
And when did you decide that you wanted to take on the Pacific Crest Trail, not the Pacific Coast Trail?
Yeah.
Because I know that you said like last time we had you on, it would be harder for a few reasons, such as the length, more dangerous animals.
The Pacific Crest Trail, you don't have to, but there is a permit system that you can get. They give up 50 permits per day between the month of March until June. So it's about 50 permits per day. And so there's a lottery system for that. So you have two chances in the lottery. If you don't win the lottery, then you can try to get a place that somebody drops out. But in the end, you don't need it. You can just go and get the individual national park permits. I think there's about 30 of them, but that's more time, more hassle. So it's easier to get the one permit to rule them all kind of thing. Plus, you don't have to worry about which permit's in your pocket if a ranger comes and stops you and asks you for a permit.
Interesting.
So that was not the biggest challenge, but the inconvenience, I guess. It has its reasons though. And then it was about timing because it's the longer trail, and because I'm in Canada, I'm an international hiker, so I got 6 months I could be in the US. So it's like the planning of how fast I need a hike to be able to complete over 2,600 miles.
Right. Yeah. So a little bit longer than the previous one too, which is wild. So what were you most worried about planning for this event?
Nothing, to be honest.
Really?
I didn't even plan it. I got the permit. And once I got the permit, I bought what I needed and I went on the trail. That's basically what it was.
Okay. And in buying what you needed, I know last time you learned the lesson the hard way of like how much is overpacking. I think there was like a camera tripod and this and that.
Yeah, a lot of camera gear. I didn't bring any camera gear this time. I just bought a new iPhone.
Okay.
That's how I did my stuff this time.
So what went into packing? Because and this is why I'm having you on, because I don't know much about this, but it sounds like this trail is a little bit more remote than the Appalachian Trail. There's less towns that you can stop by and get more gear.
So there's still towns. There's still a lot of towns you can go to, especially now in the modern time. Before, back then, there wasn't that many. But it's not like the Appalachian Trail where that itself is built on a trail town kind of system, where you have trail towns every 2 to 4 days. Some of them you could walk right into. Some of them you have to get like a 5-mile hitch. The PCT, I think there's only 2 or 3 towns you can walk into. They don't have much. But then you're looking at hitches, which are looking about 10, 20-minute hitches. So yeah, the towns are a bit way off the trail. So it takes a bit of planning on what you want to do. And the towns aren't close together. I think the longest one I did was 8 days. It took me 8 days to get from, I was in the Sierras, so it's at the start of the Sierras. So I was in Kennedy Meadows South. That's what we call it. I don't know the name of the actual town. And I went all the way to Bishop. So that's about, this include Whitney though. So I did a little detour, like a 2-day detour. So that was like an 8-day stretch for me of carrying food.
Okay. And then I imagine I guess you said there's more civilization there now, I guess now. Did you experience what the term I learned last year? A lot of like trail magic out there as much as you did.
Yes. So there is a bunch of trail magic. I didn't get much in the desert system. I got some here and there. But when I got to North California and onwards up to Canada, I got a lot of trail magic. Not as much as the Appalachian Trail, where every day you're going to get a cooler of something, but there's still trail magic out there.
Yeah. And again, just summarize what trail magic is one more time for the listeners.
Trail magic is just people who know the hiking community and who want to contribute to the hikers. So basically, if they can't, they basically just go to trailheads and they'll have like either a cooler of drinks, they'll have either a whole barbecue going on, or like a whole like tent setup. So it could be just anything giving back to the community to help hikers along their way on their journey.
Yeah, love that. So a couple stats that I want to share before we get into like the bulk of it. So to compare the Appalachian Trail to the Pacific Crest, so Appalachian has approximately 464,500 feet of elevation, while Pacific has 4,800.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
489,000. So it's a decent amount more elevation, but not. It doesn't seem as intense.
So
in that you're like, once you're up there, you're up there.
So the PCT, the trail itself, was basically built off of the old. It's like a mule trail or a horse pack trail. Basically, that's what it is.
Okay.
So it was built during the gold rush. So the grade of climbing is basically meant for stock.
Okay.
So it's not as difficult on your legs and your feet. So yeah, it's still high elevation, but it's not steep. It's mostly switchback based, lower grade, where the Appalachian Trail, some of the climbing could be like 60 to 70% grade, and it can be brutal on the knees going down. So it's a much steeper climbing and descending from the Appalachian Trail.
Okay, that makes sense. And that's one of the things that, like, when I was researching this too, like, they kept explaining how, like, yeah, it's graded for horses. It's graded for horses. That makes it easy. And it's like, it doesn't make it easy. It just makes it a different kind of hard, which I thought was interesting. And it's also basically 500 miles, around 500 miles longer. But it's also only 3 states, which is a little bit different from the East Coast.
So it is longer, but it's actually, there's been a huge change in the system in 2025.
Okay.
So before Donald Trump became president, basically not Canadians, but anybody who is traveling on the Pacific Crest Trail can apply for a hiking permit to enter Canada through the northern terminus. So you'll end up at the border, and with this permit, goes to the Canadian Customs, you're allowed to hike in 8 miles into Manning Park, which is just on the other side. And usually most hikers will go there and they just get a hitch from Manning Park to Vancouver, and then they'll leave from Vancouver. Because of the new administration, they put pressure on Canada to protect the border, I guess. And so Canada stopped the hiking permits from entering into Canada. So basically, if you get to the northern terminus, if you want to leave, you got to hike back 30 miles to the last road juncture.
That's interesting. I would think that, like, with the proper documentation, like, you should be fine. But what do I know in today's world?
Yeah.
So that must have been a somewhat frustrating change.
People see it as a victory lap. But, if you look vice versa, you couldn't just go from Canada and start the trail. You would have to enter the U.S. If you're an international hiker, you have to enter the U.S. legally through an airport or land entry.
Okay.
And then still do that 30 miles and then 30 miles back if you're going southbound. So it's just that with Canada, we made it more simple for northern hikers to be able to enter Canada, to be able to leave easily.
Okay, that makes sense. And then what went into your decision of, like, starting south and going northbound compared to the opposite?
So I think if you're going southbound, you start in the later summer.
Okay.
That's the question I think you're asking.
Yeah.
Because you have to fight with the winter conditions in Washington and Oregon. So usually they'll start in June or July, late June and around mid-July, I think. I didn't know both. So I started in the border of Mexico and California, and I went north.
Yeah. And I guess talk to me, like, how did the experience start off for you?
Day 0, I thought I was going to die.
Okay.
I really did. So I'm not a big planner, so I bought a new backpack and a new quilt about maybe 3 weeks prior to my start date. So I had everything shipped to a friend's place in San Diego because I didn't want to pay taxes, duties, and now tariffs. So I had a friend in San Diego who's actually a trail angel, and she was going to give me a lift from San Diego to Campo, which is the official start. So I just got all my new main gear that I needed. So my quilt wasn't really lofted properly. It was brand new in the pack. So I found out that night it gets really cold in the desert.
Yes.
Really cold.
Yeah.
I already had stuff on me, but I didn't have my quilt strapped down. And I thought, I'm just going to go to bed like this. And I woke up, I think, at 1 o'clock in the morning, freezing to death. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die before I even start hiking. And I already had ice build up from the condensation inside my tent.
Oh, inside.
So
okay.
That's how cold it was. That was the only day I thought I was going to die.
So explain, like, the lofting of a quilt. Like, what is that? Like, what exactly does that mean?
So basically, when you buy a new sleeping bag or a quilt, so everything's compressed in the bag. So that's how they ship it to you. They ship it into a compressed bag. So when you take it out of your bag, you want to try to loft it out so you get all the feathers if you have down, like more spread apart inside the bag that keeps you more insulated.
Gotcha. And so it wasn't shaken out properly. It just did not.
It was a brand new bag. Well, they say in the instructions when you buy it, you should loft it and let it sit for 2 days.
Oh,
well, I got it the day of I was leaving. So
ain't nobody got time for that.
no, got no time for that.
Yeah. And I guess rewinding a little bit, one more question. When did you plan to? So again, you only had a limited time. When did you plan to start, and what was your expected like finish time too?
So, like I said, everything's based on the permit system. So, how the permit system works, once you actually are in the pool, they'll send you a random time by email to go into your portal and pick which date you want to hike. Doesn't mean you'll get the date. So, for the first lottery, it's 35 permits that are set out. And on the second lottery, it's 15 permits.
Okay.
So, I did not get the date I wanted to get. I wanted mid-April. So I ended up getting April 6th. That's the one I picked in the end. So it's either first week of April or basically the last week of April. So I went with the first week of April because I had friends who I met on the Appalachian Trail who was starting on April 3rd. So I started early around April 6th. I want to do 5 months. And I got close to the goal. I was thinking about around September 15th, which I ended up finishing September 11th.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. So back to the event or the massive undertaking. You thought you were going to die the first day. Anything else go wrong, or like what else were the highlights for the first?
Nothing for the first. So like I said, there's 3 states that you go through. You go through California, it takes forever to get through.
Right.
Then you have Oregon, and then you have Washington. So nothing really seriously happened the first week. It's because I'm from the East Coast. The atmosphere is different. The climate's different. So I had to get used to the constant sun because the whole trail is exposed to sun. So I didn't wear any suntan lotion on the Appalachian Trail because we call it the green tunnel because you're always underneath foliage constantly.
Right.
And the only time you're exposed is when you're above alpine tree line. So it's basically when you're in the White Mountains, you'll be exposed the most. But you're constantly exposed to the sun, especially through the desert. So getting used to the desert sun, the desert heat, and then the carrying of water constantly. So you're constantly carrying water. On the Appalachian Trail, I was carrying maybe 1 liter of water at a time, where on the PCT in the desert, I was carrying at least minimum 3 liters of water. Okay. And water is heavy. Water can be extremely heavy
and uncomfortable with it sloshing around and everything too.
Yeah. So I on my backpack, I had a holster for a water bottle in the front, so I don't have to reach around all the time.
Good.
So, but there's sometimes in the desert you had to carry at least 5 liters of water because water can be very sparse. I think the word is
scarce or
scarce.
Sparse. Both maybe. Yeah.
I don't know, but there's one section that a trail angel helps with hikers in the desert because you have at least a 30 to 40 mile gap of no water. So they'll leave giant 8-gallon jugs at a junction point, and then you can fill up there. It's not the greatest water. It's a lava flavor water. It's very hot, but it's at least something because there's some sections there's like no water at all.
That's so cool that someone like up and does that for all the people.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So that was, I think, the hardest part of the desert itself is just managing the water and getting used to the heat. Yeah.
So I remember like looking back on the original trek that you did, you complained about like, oh, that one state took forever. Obviously California truly takes forever.
A long time. I think California was 1,100 miles.
Wow.
I believe. Yeah. I think it's more than that. I think it's 1,700 miles.
And so obviously it's almost like it's so big, it might as well be like different states and everything too. So yeah, how did it change from south to north?
So it dramatically changes. Once you get to the 700-mile marker, you basically go from desert into forests and mountains. Huh. Like there's some mountains in the desert section you can do, like we did Jacinto, which is just outside of Palm Springs.
Okay.
So that's at least 11,000 feet of elevation. So sometimes you're back into the forest and the mountains. A lot of times it's just desert walking. So when you hit 700 miles like Canyon Meadows South, you're now it changes dramatically to forests and mountains because this is when you're hitting the high Sierras for at least a couple of weeks. And then you get into like Oregon, more trees, more forests. And then when you hit Washington, it's just mountains.
Right.
Constant mountains. I didn't think there were so many mountains in Washington.
Yeah, I've spent like a couple days in Washington, but I haven't really seen the state.
Yeah, I same here. I've traveled in Washington, but it was more the ocean coast road.
Okay.
I've done that like around Olympia. I think it's Olympia. So I did some of that, but I was there for like a day or two. I was mostly going to Oregon on the ocean coast.
How does it feel to be a Canadian that knows more about the United States than most Americans?
I don't know. I've had good talks with people on trail about politics.
Yeah,
because I'm aware of politics in both countries.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's each state has its own unique little thing, and then each town you go to is quite unique, and the people are always special in each town you go to.
Yeah. What are some towns that stuck out to you along the route?
So there's one town, it's called Quincy. It's in about Northern California. It's just a couple of days hiking from Tahoe. That was the most unique town because I felt like everybody who helps hikers out are fighting to help hikers out. So I remember I got to the road and the trail angel was there. He was giving lifts to town and he was already there waiting for hikers. So I got an easy ride into town. And once I got into town, people were asking me, hey, do you want to stay at my place? Do you want to stay at my place? Do you need a lift somewhere? So I thought Quincy, that stuck out to me for how much help they want to give to hikers on trail.
Yeah, that's cool. I worried a little bit when you said that they're like fighting to help. I'm like, oh, is the town like against helping them? Or is there like rules and regulations of like...
No, they love the help. That was the one that really spoke out to me the most about the uniqueness of helping hikers. Each one is different. They all have their little unique thing, but that was the one that stuck out the most.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a good one. Was there anything that you needed to pack for this one that you didn't need for Appalachian? Like, what did you have to change up?
Yeah, so I started with a lot more gear than the Appalachian. So instead of having camera equipment, I had a lot more ice equipment. So it snows a lot in that area, about North California, Oregon, and Washington. There's a lot of snow. Same with the South. South can have a lot of snow too. But because I started in early April, I didn't see much snow until I got to Jacinto, which is about 200 miles from the start. So by that point, you kind of need crampons or micro spikes so it's like foot traction for your feet. And an ice axe is recommended, but it's not really necessary. Those items you will need for the Sierras. So I had those. I packed with those early because I wasn't too sure. But it's funny. It's the two pieces of gear I packed, and the two pieces of gear I never used.
Okay.
So there was so you need it definitely for the Sierras, and I just never used them. I didn't need to. I'm used to walking on ice and snow, so I just never. I felt comfortable. I don't recommend not bringing them.
Okay.
There's something you will need, especially the ice axe if you have to self-arrest if you fall, or if you like to glissade. Glissading is basically sliding down the mountain on your butt.
Oh, I can do that.
You use the ice axe to control your speed.
Oh, so like badass gliding down a mountain.
Yeah, basically. I've done a few of those. They're kind of fun.
Yeah.
And it cuts a lot of trail time too.
That makes sense. I actually saw someone doing that when we were in Colorado at St. Mary's Glacier. Like someone was like just throwing himself down. Like that looked pretty cool.
But you have to be careful. I did that once on Lincoln, which is before, I forget the name of the town I was going into. It was after Tahoe. So it was Chester before, no, Chester. I forgot the name of the town.
Fair.
So I saw the people, so I had this giant snowpack in front of me, and I saw a trail going up and around. I'm like, and it goes up to a ski hill. I'm like, I don't want to go up there. So I went up to the snowpack, and I could see the trail below me. So I was just like, I'm just going to glissade. It ended up being a big mistake. Once I put my butt down, I was gone down the mountain.
Okay.
And I basically slid, and I hit the trail hard at the end, and I just bounced off a few rocks. So sometimes it could be great. Sometimes it could be very dangerous.
Yeah. I bet like not only the speed of it, but also the fact, and there are some listeners that have never like, I guess like they've seen ice cubes, but haven't seen like ice on a mountain. It can be sharp too. I imagine that could be a potential concern.
I've been very lucky. I wore shorts through all that area.
Okay.
But I've seen people that have bandages on their legs because they'll glissade, but they'll leave their legs down flat. So if the snow is not really melted, it's still ice packed, it will tear your flesh. It's like road rash.
Right. Which I feel like
you gotta be careful.
People wouldn't
and
realize.
Another mistake people will make when they glissade is that they'll leave their microspikes on, which is another hazardous item because the microspikes have spikes on your feet, right? So if you put your foot down, your foot can get caught because of the spikes on ice and you can break your ankle. So you have to be, or you break your leg. So you have to be really careful.
Yeah. Jesus, I didn't think about that. Did you see any like major injuries? I mean, hopefully not, but like anything come up like that?
I don't think I've seen any major injuries at all besides for blisters. That's the most I've seen on trail. There have been a lot of injuries on trail, but I've never seen people get hurt. Some people, I don't know. I've missed some things. I remember doing Mount Whitney, and a week later, a kid walked off the mountain. So things do happen. I'm not there when it does happen.
Right. And then people always say that, like, out west, everything's kind of like well manicured and stuff like that. Like how, obviously a different kind of beauty, but just what was it like being up on the crest?
So that's the difference between the AT and people ask me this question. What's the difference between the AT and the PCT? Like which one do I like the most? So the Appalachian Trail, it has its uniqueness for trail magic and towns, but you're always under a canopy. So you don't see a lot of views until you hit basically like bald points on mountains or if you hit the White Mountains.
Okay.
Where the PCT, because you're exposed the whole time, just the views are spectacular. They get better and better the more north you go. So the Sierras are spectacular. I thought Washington was probably the best place for views.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous.
Did you have like a mileage goal per day and how did that change?
So the first couple 100 miles, I didn't really have a mileage goal because I wanted to build my legs, but then I met people and we kind of stuck together. So about 200 miles, it was just go as fast as I can to catch up to my friends who had started on April 3rd. And once I hit April 3rd, once I caught up to them, and met them, I met them at Big Bear. I slowed down to their pace because one of the people I've hiked with on the Appalachian Trail, she's 9 years old. So she completed the trail while she was 7 on the Appalachian Trail, and she was out hiking the PCT. So I slowed down to their pace, which is about 16, 20 miles. So it's very impressive for a 9-year-old to be cranking out those mileage.
I'd say that's a future badass there. That's wild.
Yeah. So I slowed down for them. And then when it hit the Sierras, they wanted to stop at the next town. And I was like, I need to keep going.
Right.
Because I do have a deadline, especially with my schedule and because I'm a Canadian citizen. I have to get out of the US. And it's not because of the US, it's because where I live in my province, if I'm outside my province for more than 6 months, I lose all my medical benefits.
Oh, wow. So it's not even just the country, it's your specific province.
Yeah. So I lose my Medicare. So I had to make sure I was back in my province or at least back in the country.
Yeah.
Before my 6 months was up. So I wanted to hit the Sierras. I told them I had to depart with them and do my own thing. And by then I was cranking out about 24 miles average in the Sierras.
Okay. Wow.
And then once got to NorCal, I was hitting a couple of 30s. And then once I hit Oregon, I was doing 35, 40 miles.
Wow. Gotcha. And then what was your strategy with taking zeros? That's what you call it, right? When you just have like the day off.
So zeros are those days off. So I was with my friends. They enjoy a lot of zeros. When we got to Tehachapi, we took 4 zeros, and I'm like, what are we doing?
Oh wow,
this is too much. This is too much.
That's a vacation now.
To me, it's a vacation. I was getting a little antsy, but they were waiting on gear, which I don't understand. It's just mail it to the next town. Right. So when I get to certain towns, I'll probably take 1 day off. I know when we first started, after we got to Idlewild, which is before you get to close to Palm Springs, I took one day off there with a bunch of friends, and then when I met my new gang, we were taking zeros whenever they wanted to take zeros, and then when I got on my own, I'll take zeros whenever I want to take zeros.
Right.
So usually be like 1 0 here or there.
Yeah,
it all depends on my mood and what I was doing.
That's fair. I'd like to think that if I were to do this, like I'd want to take a zero anytime I reach a town, just kind of like experience it a little bit before moving on.
A lot of people like to experience town. Sometimes, like a town like Quincy, they have an ice cream parlor there, and they give free ice cream to thru hikers.
That's so cool.
So that was a must stop town, even though I did have to stop there. So it's nice to explore some places if you can, like Tahoe, for example. You have to stop in Tahoe, and it's a big town.
Yeah.
So there's lots to see there if you want to go swimming and do activities on the lake. So a lot of people spent time there for 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. but a lot of people like to take their time off when they can.
Gotcha. And then obviously, like we have bears and stuff on the East Coast. There's bears, and I'm sure many other animals out there.
I don't think they exist. I saw no bears.
So any animal encounters at all?
So I did see one bear. It was actually in northern California, but going through the Sierras, I thought I would see bears because the rangers are very strict on bear canisters. So when you're hiking the PCT, there are sections that you have to carry a bear canister, and the Sierras are one of them. So you have to have a bear-proof item. So it has to be a bear canister, where some places in Washington, you have to have something that's bear-proof. Like there are bags you can buy that are bear-proof.
Okay.
So the rangers are very picky. So they will fine you and probably kick you off and take away your permit if you don't have a bear canister.
Wow.
I only saw one ranger, and she asked me, and I told her it's in my backpack because that's where it was. So you have to be really careful. But I didn't see any bears in the Sierras whatsoever. I saw a lot of marmots, which are like mountain groundhogs, let's say. They're like prairie dogs, but in the mountains.
Gotcha.
So I saw a lot of those. Saw a lot of deer. When I got to North California, saw a lot of deer. And I'm trying to think. And when I got to Washington, we saw a lot of pikas, which again is another mountain rodent.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So I had to Google and double check it so I didn't look like too stupid of an American. But the California flag has a bear on it, and I'm like, clearly there must be a lot of bears out there.
I know people have seen bears. I just it wasn't for me, which I was kind of disappointed.
Right. Yeah.
I saw one bear, but that was about it.
Again, like we have black bears by us. They're kind of harmless. You got the more harmful bears there. You got the most harmful bears up in Canada. So
Montana has some grizzlies.
Yeah, I could see that too. So, wow.
The trail even goes through Yosemite, and I thought, okay, I'm going to see bears in Yosemite, right?
And mountain lions. Well, they would see you. You wouldn't see them. Yeah.
So the only thing I've actually heard when I was in Yosemite, because on the PCT, there's no privies like the Appalachian Trail. Because the Appalachian Trail, there's always a privy at every campsite, which is about 8 to 10 miles.
AKA bathroom.
Yeah, basically a bathroom.
Yeah.
So on the PCT, there are like porta-johns or like camping privies you can hit because it's usually public camping. But usually you have to take a cat hole. So you have to basically walk 200 feet off trail, dig a hole, do your business. And on the PCT compared to the AT, you actually have to pack out all your toilet paper with you. So when I was in Yosemite trying to dig a hole, I heard a pack of wolves howling. So that was the only thing that was close to like dangerous wildlife for me.
Okay. Yeah, that would be scary too. Like I love wolves. I think they're super cool. Seeing one would be all right. Hearing a pack would be terrifying. That's fair. And then of course, the most dangerous animal, humans. I know you had a bit of an encounter. I want to say it was like New Jersey.
It was New York, so you're kind of close.
New York. Okay. That's them as well. Any issues with the people there?
No issues with people this time. Because it's more, the towns are far apart, so you're gonna have less problematic people on trail. Not to say there's not some people that are just there's some issues with some hikers, but not as common like the Appalachian Trail.
Good, I'm glad to hear that too. And then, did you have I see you have your name here too. Were you given the name like Mountain Goat?
No.
Like what was your name?
No, same trail name as Mountain Goat.
Okay.
Same trail name.
Nice. Yeah. And then how many people? Because again, you talked about how you arrived to a certain place and you were picked up by someone like a trail angel. How many people were you passing? I feel like the majority of the time it'd be pretty empty, especially with only that many permits and everything. And
so I see they call the Appalachian Trail the social trail because there's a lot of people on the trail. At least over 3,000 people start in the Appalachian Trail, and you're meeting so many people. But I think it's because towns are so close together. People like to stay in towns longer, so you see a lot more people.
That makes sense.
And they say the PCT is more remote. I found it the complete opposite. I saw so many people, so many hikers on the PCT.
Oh, wow.
Maybe not a lot of day hikers because you're not going close to certain towns. So it's always the same through hikers hiking, or you'll get a lot of people from the John Muir Trail in the Sierras. But I saw a lot of hikers, and I was very surprised how packed it was. I remember going to one place to get water, and it was 30 hikers standing there. And where are all these people? Where'd they come from?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those, and I thought it blew my mind how many more people there were on the PCT than I thought there would be.
Yeah, again, that's the exact opposite as I would think as well, because it seems like, and I was going through forums too of like, what's like the best beginner course and this and that, and I would have thought that like Appalachian, maybe it's because I live on the East Coast.
When you hit the Sierras, people tend to spread out more because the elevation's higher, the terrain is tougher, and then you're dealing with a lot of snow. So I saw a lot less people in the Sierras, but that was also my doing because I wanted to get away from people. I remember getting back on trail and we're about to hit Forester Pass, and Forester Pass is the highest point on trail, and you want to take that at a certain time frame because the later you hike the trail in the day, the more slushy the snow becomes, which then means the more pole hosting you're doing, falling up to your knees or your waist in snow. So you want to do it when the snow is frozen. Sorry, I got a call coming in.
Oh, good.
So you want to do when the snow is harder. So when I got back on trail before Forester Pass, there was a lot of people congealed there. So I basically got up super early and left to get away from the people that have distance. So I don't have to see those people again or fight for a camping spot, even though I never really had a fight for a camping spot. But it gets a little competitive. You pass somebody and you're about to camp. It's like, I got to get ahead of this person to get a spot before I have to either camp somewhere else or hike further.
Interesting. Now that makes sense too. And then in Googling like what the trail was, because I honestly didn't really know what it looked like. It looks like it goes north pretty straightforward, and then it just completely goes like west before you go north again.
Yeah, you basically you're going north and then you wrap around LA.
Okay.
So it goes like above like LA, like Pasadena and LA, up to Agua Dulce, which is, I didn't know that Agua Dulce. So Vasquez Rocks is right next to Agua Dulce. Okay. So if you're a huge Star Trek nerd, that's where they filmed the original Star Trek.
Okay, my grandfather is, so.
Yeah, so I was supposed to meet my friend there. He lives in Pasadena. He's my childhood friend. His parents live 5 minutes from my parents, basically.
Oh, wow.
So he was supposed to meet me at Agua Dulce, but he works for Shakira. So he's on tour with them. So he's on a break.
Okay.
And he sent me a text like, hey, when are you going to get to Agua Dulce? I'm like, he goes, because I'm leaving like on Tuesday. I'm like, shit, I'm getting there Wednesday.
No way.
So I never got to see him.
Oh, that's a bummer.
But I met Caitlyn Jenner though.
Really?
Yeah, she was at a Mexican restaurant in Agua Dulce.
Huh.
So I ended up meeting Caitlyn Jenner or Bruce Jenner if people like to go by that way too as well.
So you saw like just as many celebrities as you did bears.
Basically.
That's so interesting. Okay. Also, I don't know if I would have recognized. I'm not big into celebrities, so I don't know if I would have recognized him, her.
So somebody pointed it out, and I looked. I'm like, oh yeah, it is her.
That's interesting. Yeah. But I mean, that makes sense. If you're going in that area, you're going to see some of those.
Yeah, but it was kind of like in the middle of nowhere, and people were like, why is she here? Why is she here? I'm like, I don't know, maybe buying a winery. I have no idea.
No, maybe. Yeah. Who knows?
That area is a kind of wine country.
Okay. And then, what were some like highlights of the trail too? Like if someone doesn't have as much free time to do like the whole thing, like what are spots that people should check specifically? What should people
if you have time, definitely the Sierras. Sierras are gorgeous.
Okay.
Couldn't get enough. I have like so many epic videos of the Sierras. So the permit does not include Mount Whitney, but the trail is beside the mountain. Okay. So you're allowed to hike the Mount Whitney. You just can't camp near it because you have to get another permit for Whitney. And it's for the Whitney Portal, which is on the other side of the mountain, where Independence is. So on the PCT, you're on the west side. Trail is much easier, to be honest.
Okay.
But your permit does not include you to camp near it, so you're allowed to hike. So that was one of my side quests. So that was probably the main highlight in the Sierras, was doing Mount Whitney, because it's the tallest mountain in the lower 48. It's about 14,505 feet.
Wow.
And just getting there for sunrise is something I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I got there a little early, like an hour and a half early to the top of the mountain. So it was cold.
Yeah.
I had every single piece of clothing on, including my rain gear. And I had my quilt in my backpack in case I needed it. But that was sunrise at Mount Whitney was awesome to get up there. And then Washington, some places in Washington, Goat Rocks, another beautiful area, and Cutthroat Pass, which is just about 1 day past Tehican, was another beautiful hiking areas.
Nice. And so I saw that there's you travel through like 25 national forests, 7 national parks. Which of the parks, I guess, stood out the most? Because you mentioned Yellowstone. I know that's on a lot of people's bucket list.
So Yellowstone is out more in
More east of there, right?
It's Montana.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So I went to Yosemite.
Yosemite.
When you get to Yosemite, you can take the bus there to go down to Yosemite Valley. That was one area I skipped. I didn't want to deal with 30,000 tourists, so I stayed clear away from that. That was basically it.
Okay. And then
what was your question? What was the question?
I guess like what were the forests that like stood out? Does it have like a sign of like welcome to this forest?
Yeah. So nothing really stood out to me. So like I said, I was with my friends who like to take a lot of days off. So we were in Ridgecrest, which is about a couple of days hikes before the Sierras. So we took 2 days off there. We stayed at a trail ranger's house. So we took the opportunity to rent a car, and we went to what's it called? I forgot the name of the trees that's out in California.
Redwoods?
No, not redwoods. Sequoia National Park.
Okay.
They went to see General Sherman, and it's the biggest tree in the world, I think. Just because I think it's the biggest in the width, not the height. So we went to Sequoia National Park, but it's not on the trail. It's just a little road quest we end up doing. So that was cool to see those trees. But no, nothing really. To be honest, I don't know which national parks I went into. I didn't really go looking into it.
Fair.
I'm sure like Glacier National Park was actually nice. That was actually a beautiful place.
Okay.
That's in Washington.
Nice. And then I guess how was the dealing with the soreness? You said you didn't have like any major injuries and stuff, but like how long did it take you to acclimate? I guess both to like the elevation as well as
the acclimation wasn't that bad at 10,000 feet. I had no problems. Going to town is you feel it. Like Ridgecrest, like I was talking about, I think that's about 2,000, 3,000 elevation, the town, but you're at, I think, about 8,000 feet in the parking lot. So just getting a drive down to town, you feel your ears block up from the fast descent.
Yeah.
But for hiking, I didn't really feel anything. There'll be some days when you're getting used to the elevation about breathing. So going up to Jacinto, which is 10,000 feet, that leaving Ottawa to go up to Jacinto, that was a long like struggle bus moment because you're still building your legs, still learning how to breathe at high elevation. But it wasn't that bad. The only time the elevation actually kicked me in the face a little was the day before Mount Whitney. I camped and I was at 11,000 feet. So it's my first time sleeping at above 10,000. And I remember waking up and I felt like I was suffocating. Like I couldn't breathe. My heart was like palpitating really quickly. So it took me about 5-10 minutes to actually settle myself down before I went back to bed. I think that was the only time I had issues with altitude itself. After that, I had no problems. That was about it for that. Soreness wise, there's days where you'll be sore. You take a day off. That's just normal. I had no problems much with my legs. My feet, I had blisters one day, but that was me being stupid.
Okay.
So I just got new shoes. I did 800 miles on my second pair of shoes, which is a lot. It's a lot pushing 800 miles on a pair of shoes.
Right.
I just got new ones and I felt like I was walking on clouds. And we were leaving, I don't remember the name of the town we were leaving. Anyways, we were leaving a town and you had about 5-6 miles of pure uphill. And I think it was like 7,000 feet. And I felt great, but I wear Olympus 6s from Ultra.
Okay.
And they have that shoe model has like a heel cushion in the back or a heel pillow. So it kind of rub your heels. And after a day or two, you get used to it. But I felt my heel rubbing. So I put Luca tape on the back of my heels. It's like very sticky medical tape.
Okay.
And that was my mistake of doing it. So I felt great on the first day hiking, but I left that tape on and all you do is you're letting your feet sweat. And then that sweat gets under the tape.
Gotcha.
And then that tape starts to move and it created blisters. And I didn't know I had blisters. I knew I was in a lot of pain. I thought, okay, maybe I should put more tape on. So one day I took my took shoes off, and took the socks off, and I saw blisters coming out from the underneath the tape.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad. And I took out a day. When I got to Etna, which is about a day later, I took a 0 there just to rest my heels. Had to buy like Neosporin. I already had what's it called? A peroxide with me.
Okay, good.
I had a small bottle of peroxide because I had a blister on the top of my heel because I had Luca tape on my heel, on my foot, and then caused a blister. So I was like, so I took a rest day, cleaned out my foot, put Neosporin on, and then when I slept, took the Neosporin off, just let my feet breathe. And next day I was back on trail. It's like I don't have time for blisters.
Right.
So I was back on trail. And
That's
the reason why I had to buy the peroxide is because all of North California, you're going through dead fire zones. So
Right.
from previous fires, so you have a lot of ash, a lot of dirt. So your feet and your legs are just caked in dust and debris.
That's something I probably would have worried about too. Like, were you concerned at all about like random wildfires? Because like they happen out east, but like significantly less frequently and less magnitude than it does out west.
Yeah, so that was the hardest part of the PCT is logistics. Logistics of getting to town, where to send food, if you do like a drop box for yourself, and then the fires. Everybody knows the fires out west are much worse than it is out east.
Yeah.
Look what happened to LA last year, right?
Yeah.
2025 was the best year, I think, since 2018 for the lack of fire that there were. There were still some small fires, but this is, I think, the 2025 is the year where you can hike the whole trail without being rerouted due to an active fire. I was very lucky. I was lucky enough to be one of those people that didn't have to get detoured from an active fire. There was a fire in Etna, which is in North California. There was a fire. It was there for like at least 2 weeks, I believe. And you couldn't go into Etna. You had to go around about 20 miles, I think. So I hit a window where they actually put the fire out. So I had hit that window where I was allowed to go into Etna. And then the day I left, another fire started.
Wow.
So they had to close that whole section off again. So I was lucky enough to go into Etna and to continue my hike. Same with got the White Pass in Washington. There was an active fire somewhere, and I think a day or two later I left, another fire broke out in that area and closed that section of trail. And no, it was not me. I did not set any fires.
I know.
So I was lucky. I was lucky on those sections, but you are going through old sections of trail that had fires. So it's sad to see. Like one of the biggest challenges for me in hiking was hiking through the old Dixie Fire in Northern California. So it's the biggest fire Northern California had, and I think it was the most destructive forest fire they had too as well.
Oh wow!
And the reason why it was hard is because there's no coverage for like days, and all you're going through is dust, and you can't camp in some sections because the terrain is unstable. And when I was going through there, so this is in between Belden and forgot old station. That's what hikers call it. So it's like a 3-day stretch. And I was going through there, no shade, dead trees, and it was 102 degrees the whole time. So it was hot. I never faced such a difficult challenge, even though the terrain wasn't that bad. It was just extremely hot. A lot of hikers skip that area, or they skip Northern California completely because of the fires. A lot of them think there's going to be a forest fire that they're going to skip anyways. But then when there's no forest fires, they didn't plan for that. So they're like, I got to make up time. So they either skip the section or they skip the whole state because of how hot it can be, the forest fires. They don't want to walk through a dead area for 3 days, let's say. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people would skip that. But they also miss the beauty in some points, the beauty of challenging yourself physically and mentally going through those sections, because not every day is going to be a great day.
Right.
It's the same with racing. You're going to have good races, you're going to have terrible races. And it's like, look at World Toughest Mudder. It's all good at the first 5 laps, and then when you hit 1 a.m., 3 a.m., it's going to be a totally different story.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I did the Northern California because that's what it is. Like, it's not going to be a good day every day. You got to challenge yourself. Shit's going to get hard. But you also miss the beauty of challenging yourself. You miss the beauty that the halfway point of the trails there too. They have an actual concrete marker to mark
cool.
the halfway point. And there's a little interesting place in Old Station called the Subway, which is actually it's not a national park, I don't think, but it's a little park. It's called the Subway, and it's actually a lava tube you can walk through. So you go down to this cool lava tube. It's not that big, and not that long either. So it's you can spend at least 10 minutes there. But the big difference of that place, it's 30 to 40 degrees cooler than it is outside. So I know me and my friend, we actually hid there for like an hour or two and stay away from the midday sun.
I would do the same exact thing too. I do not do well in the heat at all, so that would have been nice relief for me too.
Yeah.
What else? I know it's impossible to encapsulate. Like, tell me all about the entire thing, but any other like moments that stood out to you during your main quest?
A lot of yellow jackets. I got a lot of yellow jackets. I got stung at least 8 times in one day. I don't know why. All these hikers passed these yellow jacket nests, and me, I didn't see it. Got stung 100 times.
Damn.
So that was the equivalent of Northern California. To me, it's like the thing I said to people, because I was like, when I was hiking past a halfway point, it was probably the hardest day I had on trail. It was hot, no shade anywhere. The water was warm, and I remember passing this water station. It was like a pipe that had a lot of cold water in it. And I was hiking. I was doing like a 24-mile day, and I'm thinking, oh man, all I want is a Coke. All I want is a Coke. And I'm swaying back and forth like a zombie because I'm hot, I'm tired, I'm hungry. And I see these cars in a parking lot. It's middle of nowhere. And I'm like, oh, I hope there's a Coke somebody can give me. And I get there, it's actually full-blown trail magic. Like tents, coolers of Coke, coolers of food, sandwiches, desserts. And that was like a big highlight for the Northern California area. And I was telling the people that live in the area, I'm like, man, someone should just come and napalm Northern California all over again, because no one has maintained the trail in that area. So I don't know the name of these bushes, but they have these little thorn bushes that stick out on the trail. So there's a lot of overgrowth of these bushes. And at first, when you go through them, it feels like nice because they're scratching your ankles because you might have a mosquito bite. Right. But no, after a couple 100 feet, it's like, it's just irritating. It's just scratching your ankles constantly and your shins, and you're going miles through these things. It's not maintained.
Right. Is it like thorny scratches, or
it's not like super, it's not super thorny.
It's not like drawing blood.
No, but it could draw blood if you go through it enough for miles on end.
Interesting.
So that section, Northern California, there's a lot of that. A lot of blown down dead trees in that section. So it gets tiring going around the dead trees. Washington as well. That was another moment of trees, like giant trees though, going up, down, around. So that was another thing I remember the most. And then the views are just spectacular.
Yeah. When you told that story, I almost was guessing that it's gonna, you got there and it's just gonna be like, oh, they only had Pepsi, so you kept walking and it was like a Coke commercial, or that it was just like a mirage or something. Yeah. Like, did you have any hallucinations while you were out there in the heat? I did
not have any hallucinations. So that's a good thing. Nothing that was done by drugs.
Right.
So that was a good thing. But you can have scary moments, especially with altitude. Like I was telling you about somebody falling off the mountain at Whitney. Apparently a father and son went up to Whitney about a week later, and it's a lot harder on the east side at the Whitney portal because apparently there's a lot of switchbacks you have to go up, and you have to get used to the elevation, where when you're on the PCT, you're used to the elevation. And a father and son were climbing Mount Whitney, and the son started to hallucinate, and because of the altitude, and he just walked right off the mountain. Apparently he survived, thank God, but things like that can happen. I was lucky enough, nothing happened. No hallucination with heat, no hallucination with
altitude,
being hungry or thirsty or water or altitude.
How did you ever feel like it was dangerous? Like, as one thing, in the daylight you can see what you can see, but at night hiking, like, did you ever have any issues?
I'm not a big nighttime hiker.
Okay.
I don't like nighttime hiking. I like to see, not because I like to see where I'm going, but because the PCT has so many views. Yeah. I want to see the views. So I've done, I think couple nighttime hikes, like late at night. I did one at a Snoqualmie because I want to get back on trail. And if you saw, I actually did post videos on Instagram a bit. If you saw what I was hiking at night, you'd be like, no, no, because some of the paths are like narrow, so it'll be maybe 2 body lengths,
Wow. Okay.
and then it's like a 5,000 foot drop. And I leaving Snoqualmie, that's what it was. It was a 5,000 foot drop. So I did that night hike. I did a couple other night hikes. I usually did early morning hikes, like in the desert.
That's right.
I'll be on trail. I'll be on trail by 3:30 a.m.
Okay.
to avoid the heat, and I'll stop around 5. In the Sierras, I'll be on the trail around 3:30, 4 a.m. just so I can get most of the mileage out of the way before it starts melting and becomes slushy.
Yeah.
But I never really had any. I felt like I was in any type of danger. The Sierras, like, you'll be hiking some snowpack, and you have to be very careful on the snowpack because it used to be like a trail, but then now the trail is covered in snow. So you have footprints, but if you take one misstep, that's why you need an ice axe. When you're going through those sections, if you take one misstep, you'll be down the mountain.
Yeah.
So you're going to need the ice axe to do a self-arrest. But I never had any issues myself like that because I'm used to the snow and ice. Still, if you're used to it, anything still happen.
Right.
But I was used to my footing, and because I'm leaving at night, stuff's more frozen, stuff's more in place, that I felt comfortable doing this stuff in the dark.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's terrifying thinking about, falling off the cliff, really, really steep stuff. Because again, there's not that it's a cakewalk in the Appalachian, but like it doesn't have that element of it.
Yes, like it does snow out east, but when you're hiking, you're not going to have snow.
Right.
I don't remember even seeing any snow, like even snow patches. But when I was on the PCT, every month I saw snow.
Yeah.
It could be either a lot of snow, like the Sierras, or I'll see patches of snow here and there that I have to walk through. I think the only time I did not see snow was in September when I was finishing the trail. But it's like you get to Crater Lake in Oregon. I got there in August, I think, and there was still snow at Crater Lake. Not on top of the crater, but when you're in the low part of the valley where it's cooler, there's still snow you have to cross over. It's nothing dangerous, nothing big. It's just you're walking on snow.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the big question, as you started to answer earlier too, like how else would you compare the two trails? Like which one did you prefer? Which one was more difficult in different ways?
So I've had multiple conversations with people about this who've done both trails, and it's usually whichever trail you start first is the one that you fall in love with.
Okay.
So I love the AT because it is the first trail I did, and I live out east. But it's the amount of trail towns, the people who are willing to help you and give trail magic. That's what I love about the AT, where the PCT, you get less trail magic, but people are still going to help you. You get the towns, you call it a trail angel, or you put your thumb up for a hitch. People are always willing to help you. But it's the beauty of the PCT. The views are gorgeous. Getting up for sunrise in the desert, walking through the desert trails, and you have the sun coming over the mountains, hitting the Joshua trees, or the sunrise over the mountains of Forester Pass, or the sunset over Snoqualmie. It's just all beautiful.
Yeah, I bet the sunsets over there are magnificent. That was something that stood out to me.
Yeah,
Colorado.
Anybody who did the PCT first compared to the Appalachian Trail will always love the PCT first.
Interesting. And what about in terms of difficulty, I guess?
AT is much difficult, 100% much difficult.
Really?
Like I said before, it's like the PCT is built off a stock trail, so it's the gradual climbing. You're not looking to anything steep at all. There will be some steep sections, maybe here and there, but it's not as bad. A lot of switchbacks, so it gets a little tiring. Sometimes it's annoying because you'll see your campsite about just down the mountain, but you have to go 4 miles in circles first to get there. Where the AT, you're looking rugged. Like at first, it's not so bad, but you're going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and then until you hit the whites. Like you're going on the AT, you'll be doing 24-mile days, and when you hit the White Mountains, you're going 9 miles. That's how slow the White Mountains will drag you out. Where on the PCT, you can do 30 to 40 miles consecutively. It all depends on you and how you want to hike.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought, because I remember there were being some single digit days out on the East Coast too. So that makes sense.
Yeah. When you hit the whites and you hit Maine, you can still pull out 20s. But usually that's the northern part of Maine. But when you hit the White Mountains, you're not going any faster than 9-10 miles. All depends on where you want to camp too.
Okay.
If you like night hiking, you do more. But
yeah. And then which would you? So would you recommend that so again, if you like Appalachian more, but it's also harder, like who would you recommend the Pacific for?
If you want to stay dry, the Pacific Crest Trail.
Okay. Yeah.
Every day was a sunny day in California. I think I only had 3 days where I had to hike in the rain in total compared to the Appalachian Trail.
Okay.
It rained a lot on the Appalachian Trail. I think it all depends on the person, what kind of history you want. The Appalachian Trail has a lot of history. So a lot of people like that aspect of the Appalachian, and they like the social aspect of the Appalachian. But it also has its drawbacks, where the PCT is just beautiful. It's just gorgeous. So a lot of people who live out west will do the PCT first.
That makes sense too. I think that I would still be drawn more to the Appalachian, mainly because it's covered and I don't want to deal with like the intense heat of everything. But yet again, I am not the biggest fan of like crazy elevation. But
see, the thing is, the Appalachian's all humidity based. So if it's hot,
that's true
sticky
too.
Hot.
Yeah.
And if it's rain, it's moist, like you're constantly wet.
Yeah.
And stuff doesn't dry as quickly. Where if it rains on the PCT, when the sun breaks, you can throw all your gear out and it'll be dry in 20 minutes.
Right.
So you don't really have a problem with wet gear like compared to the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, I could see that being frustrating.
And yeah, it's hot in the sunlight, but when you get the nighttime, it's not the same. Where out east, you'll have the humidity that'll make it hot and sticky. Where at night, it's going to be more cold out west because elevation adds to the temperature drop.
Right.
Or the temperature increase. So they say it's about for every 1,000 feet, the temperature, I think it's a 3.2 Fahrenheit difference for every 1,000 feet.
Interesting.
So the higher you go up, the cooler it's going to get. So I never had any nights where I was overly hot until I hit July going through the Dixie Fire in Northern California. That was a only kind of like maybe 1 week where I was dying of heat at night and during the day.
Yeah.
Where from the desert until Northern California, I slept well. I was always either very cold or comfortable until I passed Northern California.
Gotcha. Any broad recommendations for tackling either of the trails for someone that's looking to do at least a part, if not all of it?
Any recommendation which trail to do?
Just like if they were thinking about doing either of them, like what?
I think if you live near it, do it.
Yeah.
Just to get your footing on if you like hiking or not. Because not a lot of people like hiking. I met one guy on the Appalachian Trail. He actually is from my area. It was his first time camping. He did 20 miles on the first day, which is a lot on the first day, and he quit right after that. So the Appalachian Trail will kill people's souls for the first week.
Okay.
Because not a lot of people know they're into camping. Where on the PCT, I think it takes a bit more time. It all depends. Like people can't stand the heat, so they leave because of it, or they'll skip sections. But it all depends on where you live. If you live close to the AT, I say do the AT. If you live close to the PCT, do the PCT.
Gotcha.
Because in the end, it's going to cost you money regardless. And California is very, very expensive.
Yeah. So that's the next thing. Like, I don't know. I don't think you were able to do it last time too, but like approximately, like how much money did this cost you?
So I think I spend a lot, probably equivalent to the same. I already had some of the gear, even though I had to rebuy new stuff.
Okay.
So I bought a new quilt because I didn't know how cold it'll be in the Sierras. So I bought a new quilt rated for 15 degrees, where my old quilt was rated for 32.
Okay.
Bought a new backpack because I need a new backpack because I wanted a backpack that was ultra light. Because when I did the Appalachian Trail, I went with an Osprey backpack, which is about 5 pounds. Because I need to carry a bear can. I didn't need to carry a bear can the whole time. I just need it through some sections. But being me, I carried a bear can through the whole time. The bear can's 2 pounds, so I wanted a backpack that was less weight to compensate for the weight I had to put on. So I had a under 2 pound backpack.
Okay.
So gear wise, it was a bit of a change for money. Not much. But so when it came to food, it was more pricey. Hotel stays, if I want to stay in hotels, a bit more pricey. I met one guy in Big Bear who lives in the area, and he told me to download the the app for Vons, because Vons and Starter Bros are the biggest grocery store outlets, and so is Safeway. Those are the three big grocery outlets. And this guy told me download the apps because there'll be discounts and coupons for members. So you become a member, and you'll save at least $20 to $30 worth of groceries each time you go, which I ended up doing.
Yeah.
Saved a whole bunch of groceries through that way. And because I was in Oregon. Oregon has no sales tax. And so when I was going to Washington, I ended up buying all my food in Oregon and then mailing myself boxes. When you're going through Washington, there is no trail towns close by. A lot of it's all ski resorts.
Okay.
So I would mail boxes to certain places that were on trail itself, pick the box up, and continue. I sent one box to a friend of mine who lives in Tacoma, Washington, because he was coming to meet me at White Pass because he wanted to buy me a brand new pair of shoes. Because shoes are your most expensive gear you'll buy.
That makes sense.
So for us poor Canadians who have a Canadian peso as a dollar, I have to pay about 48 cents more to the US dollar.
It's a lot.
So each pair of shoes is about $250 for me.
Wow.
So my friend Adam, he bought me a pair of shoes, and he met me at White Pass, and he brought me my box of food. And I asked him to bring me a pizza because he asked me, "Oh, what should I bring you?" Bring me a pizza. Bring me a pizza. So I'm thinking, a large pizza. So what he brings me? He brings me a freaking frozen pizza, like a small frozen pizza. And I looked at him.
You didn't specify.
Like, these are bite-sized pizzas, man. And I asked him, bring me Cokes. And what he brings me? Coke Zero. I'm like, dude, where's the calories? Where's the calories? So he was a nice guy. He's a Cryptea, actually.
Oh, cool.
For the Spartan Hurricane Heats. So I met him at the 2024 death race.
Nice.
So he came, because he lives in Tacoma, he came and brought me a box of stuff. And then he met me in White Pass. Not White Pass. So he brought me a box of stuff at White Pass. Then he met me 3 days later. Was it 3 or 5 days later in Snoqualmie with his wife, and he bought me lunch there. And then I met him in Seattle later when I got off trail, and we had dinner before I left.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I saw him a lot on trail.
No, that's really cool. What does the bear can consist of? Is it just bear spray, or is there any other thing?
No, so it's not bear. You can't. So that's the one thing a lot of people bring on trail that you cannot bring on the PCT is bear spray.
Okay.
Yeah, there's gonna be black bears, but you know what? Black bears are more afraid of you,
right,
than anything else, unless they have cubs. If you're dealing with a mother and her cub, that is something to be concerned about.
Yes. So
the bear spray is mostly for the grizzlies. There are no grizzlies out in the west. There's no grizzlies.
Wait, really?
I didn't see any grizzlies, and then I don't remember reading anything about grizzlies. All black bears.
Huh. Okay.
But you cannot bring bear spray because if you get caught in Yosemite, you're looking at about a $2,000 fine. I think it's about $2,000. It's really a hefty fine. I remember one guy, he had bear spray, not on my trails, like some other year. He was in Yosemite, and I guess he was in in a dining hall, and the bear spray can exploded, ignited, and he got charged with having it. He got charged with unleashing a deadly weapon.
Yeah, because
you can blind people with it.
Right.
And he got charged with something else. I think he had a $500 fine in general.
Huh. Interesting.
So yeah, you don't bring a bear spray ever on the PCT. You don't need it. So that's the one myth people think. I've seen people with bear spray, and it's just a weight you don't need to carry.
Okay.
But the bear can, you need a bear can. So mine is buried right now. So the bear can, there's multiple types of bear cans. So there's one called Bear Vault. It's a blue container with a black lid. So the whole point is that the bears, it's a screw-on lid, and it clicks into place so the bears can't get into it. You can buy those at REI. REI has their own bear can you can buy, and there's a whole bunch of other types of bear cans you can buy. But the PCT, you can buy the blue Bear Vault, and you can use that. You need it for the Sierras. You need it for desolation wilderness. And after that, you need something that's bear proof, like an earth sack, which is just a bag that's built, that's bear resistance and rodent resistance to bears.
Okay, so it cuts the smell of your food. Is that it?
So basically it cuts the smell of the food.
Yeah.
Bears have a high sense of smell.
Mm-hmm.
So they can smell food miles away. You won't be able to smell it because I remember I've had food which stinks, and I opened my bear can and you can just smell it coming right out.
Huh.
And I'm a naughty hiker. You're not supposed to sleep with your food. I do.
Okay.
So I slept in my bear can the whole time, which you're not supposed to do. So don't do it. But I had no issues with rodents. It's more for the rodents, I believe, that are more of the worrisome if you have a bear can, because the rodents won't come. So it keeps the smells away, and the bear can also helps keep your food safe from the bears eating your food,
right,
and breaking into the can itself. Now there are some smart bears out there. If you hike the Adirondacks in New York, you cannot use the regular blue can bear vaults there. You have to buy these black ones that have screws on top. You need those legally, or you'll get a fine. And the reason behind that, because a mother bear in the Adirondacks was teaching her cubs how to open up the blue ones. So you can't use the blue ones out in that country.
That makes sense. What did the majority of your nutrition look like in terms of food? Like, what were you eating the most of?
Terrible food.
Yeah.
Stuff you would not eat at home. I'm very picky on my food. I'm not picky. Like, I'm not like, I met a couple of vegans on trail. I met a couple of vegetarians or people that are gluten intolerant. And so they have a specific diet they can only eat. The vegans, we don't care about. That's their choice.
Yeah.
So I'm picky on what I like. So I'll buy what I like, but I'm not picky on the food itself. So if I can find the food, I'll buy the food. So that was another reason I sent boxes from Oregon, is because I knew I can buy all the stuff I liked. So my breakfast every day was oatmeal. I love Kodiak oatmeal.
Okay.
Not Quaker. I can't eat Quaker.
Like the protein oatmeal.
Yes. So I eat Kodiak, the protein oatmeal, because each pack has 12 grams of protein. So I'll eat 2 of those a day in the morning. I'll cold soak. So you basically cold soaking it, you get a jar. For hikers, you go buy a Talenti jar because it's delicious ice cream or sorbet in it. So you have a little treat. Then you use that jar to cold soak your meals in. So I'll cold soak oatmeal the day I get up and hike. So I'll have 2 of those. Later on, I'll put 3 because I need to eat more food. So I'll eat those for breakfast. I'll buy the Gatorade protein bars to have more protein, and because I enjoyed those protein bars. So those are basically my snacks and my breakfast. Lunch, I changed it up compared to the AT. The AT, I did a lot of peanut butter wraps. For some reason, because of the desert, I couldn't do peanut butter. It's just the heat and then eating peanut butter after. It was
too dry. Yeah.
Just too much. So what I did, I started, I think it was about 700 miles I started doing this. I'll buy tortilla wraps. So after I eat my breakfast, I'll cold soak minute rice, the white minute rice. And then when it came to lunch, I'll put the rice in the wrap, and I'll take like a tuna fish pack, and I'll put tuna fish in there, take some hot sauce, and that'll be my lunch. And then dinner, I eat a lot of mashed potatoes with hot sauce and chicken packs, like put the chicken from the chicken packs in there.
That sounds good.
Or I started going to these, you know what? Do you ever heard of Northside?
No.
So you can buy these instant rice and instant noodles at the grocery store. They're called Northside. It's like a green pack. I have some, but they're in my bear can, which is buried away. So you can cook those. I don't like to cook because cooking costs more water. So what I'll do is I'll take an old dehydrated meal bag, like Mountain House or Peak Refuel. These are those freeze-dried or dehydrated meals you can buy at camping stores. So once I eat the meal, I'll reuse the bag to cook in. So I use less water, and I don't have to spend time cleaning a pot out all the time.
That makes sense.
So I'll just take hot water. I'll buy the instant Northside rice. So I usually buy the Cajun chicken because it's very spicy. And then I'll just let it sit in the pack for 20 minutes. And then I'll put that in a wrap as well and eat it. So there's a lot of wraps, a lot of wrap eating involved.
Yeah,
even though they're super heavy.
Yeah, I mean, get those carbs, right?
And then dessert, I'll have always have my peanut M&Ms for dessert.
Oh, hell yeah.
And for like snacks, like on the trail, I'll have a couple of Cliff Bars. Usually it's the white macadamias I can eat. They're good. And I'll have either gummy bears, Skittles, or those Nerd Clusters.
Okay, yeah, because those being good
So
too. Yeah.
those are my the candy on trail.
So you mentioned like you didn't have any injuries or anything. Did you get sick at all? Like any like cold or?
So I think I had a cold in the desert because one of the people I was hiking with, she had a head cold, and I think she gave it to me because I remember a couple of days I was very sluggish. Like by 2 p.m. because usually in the desert, because it's so hot, you want to skip that midday sun. So we'll do like a siesta. So I'll hide in the shade for like an hour or two.
Yeah, well,
And I
now.
remember and I had to sleep. I was just my head was so out of it. I take like an hour nap. Um, that was the only time I was sick for a cold. Then there was other moments where I had to dig a cat hole really, really fast,
Mm-hmm.
and that was about it.
Okay.
But I like anything like norovirus, which you'll get on the Appalachian Trail. Norovirus is very prominent on the Appalachian Trail. There wasn't anything out there on the PCT. I didn't have any stomach flus or anything like that.
Good.
Just
good.
a couple of close calls.
Yeah. Happens to the best of us. And then what did you do as if the hiking wasn't exciting in itself for like entertainment and stuff? Like when you were traveling alone, did you like listen to podcasts, listen to music, listen to an audiobook, anything like that? Or did that use too much battery usage? And
So I bought a new phone, and when you're through hiking, you always carry a battery brick with you.
right.
So I learned the battery brick. I had one on the Appalachian Trail. I kind of learned something I should have done on this trail. So I bought a new phone, and that had 3 days of battery life, and my battery brick can extend it by another 6 days.
Okay.
So I have about 9 days, which is not bad to get into town, recharge. So for entertainment, compared to the AT, I thought the AT, I didn't need entertainment on the AT until after 20 miles. Because I'm looking at nature, not just nature, I got a lot of like animals I can see, the birds. Not much on the PCT, so it's more like a bit more dull. Yeah, I'll see a couple of lizards here and there, old deers. So I listened to a lot more podcasts. I actually listened to music on trail for the first time. I didn't do that on the AT. So I actually had Apple Music for 3 months for free. So I listened to a lot of Apple Music. So I got tired listening to the Beatles. That tired me out. And at nighttime, I would download TV shows from Disney Plus and watch TV show, at least one TV show or half a movie before going to bed.
Oh, that's cool. Any like go-tos like for TV shows or anything like that you?
So because I bought a new phone, I got Apple TV 3 months free.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched for Disney Plus, I watched Andor, the last season of Andor that came out because came out when I was on trail.
I'm not caught up yet, so
yeah, it's recommend.
Okay,
Andor,
good.
best Star Wars show that they have.
Yeah, I liked the first season. It was slow at first. I wasn't sure like what I was getting myself into, but I have to wait for my grandfather to get back so we can finish that.
I found the second season was rushed.
Okay.
They try to pack because the second season is the last season, so they packed a lot into one season. It's enough, but I thought they could have maybe extended it more. But it was really good. I would recommend.
Okay.
And I know I watched Ted Lasso on Apple TV. That was really good.
People swear by that. I need to check that out.
Yeah. Ted Lasso is a really good show. I started watching For All Mankind, but I was like at the end of my trip. I watched it when I got home. That's a really good show as well.
Okay. I don't know that one.
And for Disney, I don't know. I don't remember. I watched a couple of movies here and there, but I remember Andor and Ted Lasso. It took up a lot of my time.
Nice.
So I ended up rewatching the first season of Andor before I started the second season.
Okay. Yeah, that should have taken up some time too. So
yeah, it's a couple of days.
Yeah. So now, like the big question, what is next to you? Plans to get fat again?
So I'm already fat now. So my trail depression wasn't as hard as it was after the Appalachian Trail. I ate a lot of peanut M&Ms after the Appalachian Trail. I was more active though a bit after the AT, so compared to this year. So I don't know what the big plan is at the moment for next year. I was thinking about doing the New Hampshire 48. Okay. Just to give myself a break and collect some money. So I was thinking about doing the New Hampshire 48. And then maybe 2027, I was thinking about doing the Continental Divide Trail, which goes from New Mexico up to Montana, to the border of Canada.
Okay.
So that's my next goal, with a slight deviation because of a lot of the things that are happening in the U.S. They're building a military base on the southern border. So if you're not a U.S. citizen, you can't get to the southern terminus anymore. You have to get a military permit, and then you have to be a U.S. citizen. Which is not the end of the world because it's only a mile.
Okay.
But it's not that big of a difference. That's the only change that I know of on that trail.
Okay. Interesting. And then just to explain to people, the New Hampshire 48 is all the 48, was it 4,000 footers?
Yeah, 4,000 footers.
That'd be pretty
So
cool.
that's kind of, I hike in New Hampshire quite a bit because after I did the PCT, I did two things after I got back from PCT. So I had a goal. The reason why I wanted to finish so early, because I've hiked the Appalachian Trail. I've hiked the Vermont Long Trail. So there's just one parking lot I know about. There used to be a deli about 1 mile down the street. So when I did the AT, I went to this deli, got food there. And when I did the long trail, the Green Mountain Club was doing trail magic there. They told me that the long trail, that deli was closed. So my goal was to come back and do trail magic at that trailhead for the long trail hikers who are going either north or south, and for the southbound Appalachian trailers, because I knew there would be at least some at that time. So basically 2 days, I got home, I was back in the US and doing trail magic. I had all sorts of, not the greatest food, but like I had sandwiches, you make your own sandwich. I had, I don't know where you live in the East, but we're in Quebec, our delis, they make their own homemade tomato pizzas.
Oh, okay.
So it's like something very Quebecish. So I brought like one whole like giant pizza with me, and a lot of people like that. And I brought some chili, which is the chili was for myself though, but in case there was like anybody who's vegan or they have a gluten
good thinking.
So I had drinks, Cokes. Like you have Orange Crush, all right?
Yes. Yep.
So Crush makes cream soda in Canada.
Oh, okay.
So I
do like some cream soda. Yeah.
Yeah. So I brought like a case of cream soda because cream soda is like, it's a great treat to have.
It hits the spot like differently.
It does.
Yeah. I don't know why it tastes creamy. I don't think I want to know, but it's delicious.
So I ended up having 11 hikers in total that came, and the cream sodas were the ones that went the most.
Okay.
And I brought some chips. Like I brought ketchup chips.
And
I brought
very Canadian, right?
Yeah. And I brought some all dressed.
Yes. Yep.
And so crossing the border in the US had no problems. So when I did the PCT, I had no problems at the airport, even though there was this big stink with the new border securities from Donald Trump. My aunt was like fear-mongering. I told her, stop fear-mongering. All right, there's no point. I'm going to the airport. They're taking my photo anyways. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing happened. The guy asked me, where am I going? And I was by myself. I was by myself at the airport. First one in customs. No one there. And guy's like, where are you going? I'm going to hike the PCT. Okay, cool.
Good.
How much money do you have with you? I'm like, $200. All right, enjoy. So when I got back to Canada and I went to do trail magic, they got there and the guy's like, where are you going? I'm going, no, I'm doing trail magic at this trail junction. It's like, what is trail magic? And I explained it to him like, oh, that's very cool. Well, do you have any anything, like any type of food to declare? I'm like, no, I left all the fruit and vegetables at home. I'm just going to buy like in town in Vermont. It's like, okay, cool. No problem. Have a good one.
Good.
But coming back to Canada was the issue though.
Really?
No, they grilled me.
I also feel like sometimes it really depends on who the fuck you get, right? Like if someone's who's having a bad day and is on a power trip and just wants to take it out on you, there's nothing you can do about it. So
when I got back to Canada, I was hoping, I'm going to get 5 months. I'm going to get a whole like interrogation process. No, in Canada, the guy told me, go, you're good to go this way. So I go that way, and it's like, oh, you have to go this way because you have like an X on your little document thing, which is basically you go to secondary. Because I had to declare I brought food back into Canada, which I did bring food back into Canada. I didn't want to get caught with a bullshit excuse, so I said I had food, which I had I had 2 boxes of Uncrustables in my bag.
Okay.
Because they were on sale, and I like Uncrustables.
Yeah.
So, and I had a knife.
Okay.
So I went to secondary, and the girl's like, what kind of weapon do you have? I'm like, I have a knife, and it's in my backpack. I'm like, is it a pocket knife? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay. It's like, what kind of food do you have? And I told her, well, I have a couple of protein bars and some Uncrustables, which are like peanut butter jam sandwiches. She's like, I don't know. She goes, I don't know what those are, but you can go. I'm like, all right. Okay. Now, when I came back from Vermont doing the trail magic, the guy gave me the 9th degree. He was like, where'd you go? I told him I'm going here to do trail magic. I was like, wait a minute. You were gone in the US for 5 months. Why? I'm like, I was doing this. So why'd you go back now? I'm like, because I'm doing this. And he's like, what is this? Like, what's trail magic? And I explained it to him. And he's like, why were you gone for so long today? I'm like, well, I got there 8 o'clock in the morning, stayed there for 12 hours, and then I had to sleep on the road because I was tired. And he's like, well, why couldn't you do this in Canada? I'm like, there's no main trails of where I live.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, go to an inspection, please. So I had to go to an inspection, got inspected by 3 guys. I don't know if they were curious about the PCT and the AT because they were asking me certain questions like how far was the trail?
So like personal interest versus like professional interest.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're asking me to see if my stories would
check out,
or they're just curious. Got 3 guys asking me questions, and the guy who's doing all the questioning while I was looking through my car is like, we don't see this normally, and now we know, and I think it's cool that you're doing this. And I told him about the other guy, and he's like, I understand why you're doing. There's no trails in your area that, like, compared to the Appalachian,
right,
that you can do this stuff. So he was chill, but the main guy was not chill.
You never know what you're gonna get.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah. So. I mean, well, congratulations on another job well done. Personally, I don't live. Well, I live closer than you do, I think.
You're in Jersey, aren't you?
No, I'm Massachusetts.
Oh, now you're in Mass?
Oh yeah, so I've always been in Mass, but Caitlin's family's from New Jersey, so sometimes I'm racing and doing stuff there too.
Well, there's I don't know where you are in Mass, but there is a section of the AT that goes through Mass.
Let me pull that up again because I am like by Providence, Rhode Island, so I'm definitely not Western Mass, but
because if you go to Great Barrington, if you know where Great Barrington is, the trail goes right through there.
Let me pull it up. I don't know where Great Barrington is. Berkshires, yeah, that's a little bit more. Zoom out here, but I would go up to New Hampshire to do stuff up there.
For Jersey, it's Vernon. If you go to Vernon, where Mountain Creek is,
right.
The trail doesn't go; it goes through Vernon. It doesn't get close to Mountain Creek, but you can see the ski hill from the trail.
That's really you mentioned that. That's really cool.
Yeah. Right, but then New Jersey, the AT goes over the mountains. I was there back in October. I went to the White Mountains. I was doing Flume all the way to Lafayette. That was a struggle bus day. It was a long day.
Okay. Yeah, so the trail like barely goes into Massachusetts.
It's like 40 or 60 miles, I think. No, I think it's about 60 to 100 miles around there.
Okay. Yeah, so you're like
you go to Greylock. Greylock's in Massachusetts, and then you hit the border at Vermont.
It's a funny thing with Massachusetts, like where I am, we're in like the South Shore. So like we're by like Plymouth, we're basically just south of Boston. So we're like really, really, really east. And so we go west, we go to like Worcester, like there's civilization there. And then there's Springfield if you want to get shot, or go to Six Flags. And then anything past that, like we always joke it's like dragons, like we don't know what's out there. So so I could not tell you anything like.
Well, see, I enjoyed Washington because like I've never been Washington fully. I didn't know how beautiful it was. It was extremely beautiful. The hiking through Snoqualmie, like out of it, and then going through Cutthroat Pass, like on the glacier. It's just Goat Rocks, which is gorgeous. Goat Rocks is actually an interesting trail. You're basically going. They call it knife's edge, so you're basically on a slant of like shitty rocks.
Okay.
So it's very like if there's snow on it, it's dangerous. But then it's like a whole bunch of peaks you have to go up and down and around, and you're constantly on this ridge, which it can be dangerous. But then you have like Mount Rainier in the background, and it's just if you get a gorgeous day, it's just beautiful. If you get like maybe a sunrise and doing that, it's just perfect.
That's pretty cool. Let me pull up the map. So it looks like just basically gathered off of these. I don't imagine you go.
It's in the corner.
Yeah. So I live right here.
Yeah, you're way far.
Yep. And also it's funny that you brought up like Quincy, because we have a Quincy over by us too.
Yeah, there's always another town that's like Vernon. There's so many Vernons, it's ridiculous.
There is, yeah. So yeah, I do wish I lived closer where I could like help support stuff, because I think that's such a cool thing to do.
Well, it was about a 2-hour drive for me to get to Vermont, where I was doing Trail Magic. It's about 2.5 hours.
Okay.
It's near Rutland, near Killington. So It's about a 2.5 hour drive.
But New Hampshire is like not very far. And I would like to do, I think I did Mount Washington. I did something with like Javier Escobar, and I think Josh Chase was there. It was like a pretty cool little thing that we did together a while ago.
Yeah, I've only done Washington once, and that was during the 18. I was very lucky on the weather.
Gotcha.
But if you're going like Lafayette's I love Lafayette. It's one of those where you can love it or you can hate it.
Gotcha. Cool. Now my computer's frozen, so well, I'm sure it was still recording. Wow, this is wild. Can you still see my screen too?
Yeah, I can still see your screen being frozen. I'm surprised you're on a Mac too.
I am. It's getting older. That's for damn sure.
How old's your mech?
2019.
Mine's 2020.
Okay.
Before the M1 chip came out.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's but mine doesn't freeze like yours.
Yeah. Well, it's been a day. It's my second interview of the day too, so it's been okay. Stop sharing. There we go.
But no, the white mount, like I like the reason why I like Lafayette the most because none of there and back. You can do a whole loop, and I like loops. Loops are my favorite thing because I don't like looking at the same shit twice, or the same trail twice.
Fair.
Because you kind of know it's like, I got on this trail. It was a hard pain in the ass to go up.
Yeah.
It's like I went up because you have multiple things you can do there. Because I forget the name of the loop. Is it Waterfall Loop? I forget the name of the trailhead, but it goes up to Haystack, and then it goes up to Lincoln South, Lincoln North, Lafayette, and back down. Or you can extend it and you go to the Liberty parking lot and you go up to Liberty, and then you do those mountains. Or you can go even further. You hike down further down the trail, and you can do Flume and go up and you do all those peaks.
Sweet.
Like I did Flume, and Flume you need an ice axe. It's dangerous. It's like a straight up like rocks.
Yeah. I don't like the super like rocky, like the shale stuff. Like I find that to be slippery.
Yeah, no, this is not shale. This is more like if you're going up without crampons in the winter, you kind of want to hike up the sides because if you're hiking up the middle, you're going up like rock slabs.
Gotcha.
So it's a bit dangerous. Like I did it, and like I had crampons. I didn't have them on though. I was like man, this is a lot more dangerous than I thought it would be. Even though you got to walk 4 miles to get there first, like on a natural like better terrain.
Yeah. So really wrapping up now, like any people that you'd like to thank?
No, just people who supported me on the trail. My friend Adam, who helped me actually on the trail. My friend Beacon, who is the trail angel out in San Diego, gave me a lift. She was a lifesaver. I kind of had to buy her a bunch of O. Henry bars because you can't get O. Henry bars in the U.S.
What are those?
They're like a chocolate bar, like a peanut chocolate bar.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, apparently you used to have them, and now they're renamed to something else.
Oh, Henry bars.
So she asked me to bring her a whole bunch. I brought her a whole bunch.
They look old. Okay, I see like the modern version of it. Classic confection of peanuts, caramel, and fudge coated in chocolate. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, apparently can't get them in the US anymore. I don't know why.
It sounds and kind of looks like a Snickers.
It's actually renamed something else in the US.
Okay.
I actually looked it up why they left, and it's actually renamed. Apparently it's not the same. It's like you take your peanut M&Ms. When I got back and I went to the Whites and I went to Vermont to do stuff, I'll go to like Dollar General or go to Walmart and buy a small bag of peanut M&Ms, and they taste awful. They're like horrific.
Really?
Yeah,
that doesn't surprise me too much. But
I actually Googled it. Apparently, they're using less chocolate and it's more candy coating, and so you really have that nut flavor. And apparently, it left an aftertaste in my mouth. But yeah, if I buy peanut M&Ms in Canada, they're just great.
Yeah, well, I just went to Europe and I understand the differences in food quality, so it's getting more and more clear. So I guess the O. Henry bar is now the Rally bar, which I also haven't heard of, but
I've never heard of it either. So I bought her a whole bunch. So she was an angel. She picked me up at the hotel I was staying at. Funny enough, she actually lived across the street from the hotel back in her 20s.
Oh,
and then she brought me to Walmart, brought me to REI, and then she brought me to Campo. And then my friend Adam, who visited me 2 times on trail, which is great. Yeah, it's a big pick me up when you can have somebody visit you and bring you a small tiny ass pizza
and shoes.
Yeah, and the shoes were a must. They were great.
Absolutely.
It was actually funny because he brought me like Body Glide.
Okay, yeah.
He bought me trail toes for like Body Glide for your feet, and because he's thinking race mentality.
Yeah.
And by the time when you're hiking that much, your feet are already used to all the friction. So he brought me a thing of trail toes, like a tube of it, and then he bought me like a small little container for anti-chafing. So the trail toes, I never really needed it because my feet are already built for it. But the anti-chafing I used just for like the back of my heels. But I ended up stopping using it because I already knew my feet were going to be okay after like 3 days of wearing new shoes.
Yeah.
But it's just a different complex between from a racer and a hiker, basically.
Yeah. Still a good thought by him, that's for sure.
Oh, no, 100%. He loves to give. He's a big giver.
Nice.
He's a great dude. He gave me a couple of his freeze-dried meals that he has as emergency meals in his car. So he's a great dude. I'll be seeing him at the death race next week.
Oh, cool. Okay, so you're gonna be coming down for that too?
Yeah, I talked to Andy. She's gonna let me come down and help and volunteer.
Sweet.
So
Awesome.
I should be there.
Yeah. And then where can people follow you on social media?
So I'm still the same social media. So it's Ngagnon. So it's Ngagnon 7356 at on Instagram.
Awesome.
Still there.
Well, congratulations. You hiked a significant portion of the United States. And yeah, keep in touch and let me know the next crazy thing you're doing. Hopefully I'll be able to see you.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Nick. Let me know if you're doing something in the Northeast and maybe I'll be able to join you, even though elevation is not my strong suit.
Related episodes, episode 151
was World's Toughest Mudder, brunch audio, and bar crawl interviews. It said that he was on that episode, so that might have been the first time he was on the show.
Oh, and episode 361.
More relevant, but hiking the Appalachian Trail with Nick Gagnon.
Subscribe and follow wherever you get your podcasts. We are Obstacle Running Adventures on all the podcast players.
Yeah, you can leave a review, or more than anything, just reach out to a friend, share this with them. Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Obstacle Running Adventures.
Patreon, you can support us financially for as many as $2 or, nope, as little as $2, as many as $10 a month. And that would get you all sorts of behind the scenes perks, like being able to watch this interview when I first did it over 2 weeks ago, last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming up next.
I have plans, but I need to reach out to people. So I need to get on that so I can hopefully start recording more episodes in advance and be less stressful when I have to figure things out week by week. Caitlin, got a joke or a quote?
I do. My quote is, "Your light shines so much brighter than I think you'll ever know, and people find such comfort and such warmth within your glow. You're a complex constellation, a beautiful creation, sending great sparks of kindness wherever you may go." And then my joke is, what do you call a moose with no name?
What?
Anonymous.
Anonymous, that's a good one. All right, well, that just wraps it up. My name is Michael Stefano.
And my name is Caitlin Ritter.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on your favorite podcast platform
So you don't miss our future episodes.
We would greatly appreciate it if you write a review.
Reach out with feedback on social media.
And most importantly, share the show
With a friend or family member.
Our intro song was Streaker by Straight Up.
And our outro music is I'm Paul by The Best.
I would love to. I can't believe I had you on back in like 2023. Like,
Yeah, that's been a while.
it has been. And I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I'll be able to do some of it. And life has not slowed down. I will never be able to do any of this. So all the more reason to hear more.
You need to be free of life to be able to do it.
No, I'm doing too much with my current job, and I can't stop that. Current jobs. So, but
You could always. It's up to you on what you want to do in life.
yeah, and I'm helping too many people. I can't stop it. Currently, my dog is not crated, and she's probably gonna have to be crated mid-interview, but she's doing well now. I just want to give you a heads up that, like,
Oh, your dog?
yes, yeah. Awesome. Perfect. We'll end
Thank
it
you.
there.
Thank you for having me. It's
Yeah.
great to talk.
I I realize it's 5:40 and I have not really eaten lunch or dinner yet. So